Hey, good morning, everybody. Thank you for being here to join us for this IES INCA Technopreneurship Series 2022. And we are very privileged to have Ms. May from Flexxon to be online with us to share about her company later. And I'm Andy. I'm the General Manager for IES INCA. And IES INCA is the Institution of Engineers Singapore Incubator Accelerator. For those who are new, I will do a short presentation about IES INCA and you can get to know us better. For today's webinar, we'll keep it interactive. So if you have the chat handy, you can enter some inputs and questions and also certainly introduce yourself there so we can get to know each other better. Okay. Well, let me just share my slides. Yeah. Okay. So for today's session, we have three speakers. Today, myself, I will do introduction to IES INCA, and after that, Ms. May will be doing an introduction to Flexxon and her business to share with you the context, and she will be sharing her Technopreneur Journey that incorporates the IP strategy part. Yeah. And lastly, we'll have the intro to IPOS and also the IP programs that IPOS International is running with our speaker, Mr. Eric Koo. Yeah. And lastly, we'll have the panel Q&A where you're welcome to ask any questions about the information shared and also your own questions about IP or technopreneurship. Okay, for those who are new to us, let me do an introduction about IES. IES is the Institution of Engineers Singapore. It's the national body for engineers here in Singapore, and we have 6,000 members. Anybody who is an engineer can actually join us, so you're welcome to sign up as a member to join us. And the IES has been around since 1966. Our mission is to really advance and promote the science, art, and professional engineering to improve mankind in the well-being and also to be the heart and voice of engineers here in Singapore. Yeah, and to represent engineers here. Okay, so from IES, we extended to IES INCA, which is the IES Incubator Accelerator. And our work is really to connect technology entrepreneurs, mentors, and also investors in the venture community to build sustainable and successful technology ventures. We want to encourage more engineers who have the technical talent to build and lead companies in the technopreneurship space. Okay, so our mission is to support these ventures in accelerating their products to market and to achieve success. And our vision is to see a vibrant engineering, venture, and entrepreneurship community that can really transform life through the innovation and technology that they create. We started our IES INCA journey in 2019. And since then, we have supported 23 incubatees, 10 of which are still active with us. And we have 80 plus mentors in our pool, as well as 130 plus investors and 900 plus in our community. So to continue to engage you, we will add you to our mailing list as well, where you can hear more about activities in the future. Okay, this is where we started. In 2019, we officially launched at our annual dinner. And then since then, we have done various online and offline events to engage engineers, to engage the sharing of knowledge in the technopreneurship space. So USP as an incubator is that we are linked to IES, the largest engineering network and body of engineers in Singapore. And IES has got members in the academia, in the government sector, and also the private sector. Yeah, so it's really engineers of different disciplines coming together. So we are linked to that. And recognized as the national body for engineers, we can empower this engineering movement for the new economy. Thirdly, we are trying to harness this talent to build some of these new technologies that is strategic to our country and for development of the people. And lastly, as an incubator, we are not particularly linked to any university or institution other than IES. We support the growth of engineering and the development of engineers, and we talk to everybody to try and link and connect people together in the tech development space. Okay. So where we come in as an incubator, we are looking for companies who are in the engineering space. It can be IES members, individuals in engineering, corporate SME spin-offs and IHL spin-offs. Through our incubator, we provide them engineering translation support, mentorship, business support training, and also fundraising to get them the necessary resources to execute their plans. As part of our incubation work, we connect companies to investors, business network, and also customer markets for their growth. In addition, we also look out for problem statements in the market where we like to share them with our engineering community, and hopefully from there they can connect the dots and find something they want to start and build a business, tech business around. So corporate SME problem statements, industry problem statements, innovation opportunities, we're happy to hear them and share them on with our community. So who can be incubated with IES INCA is those who have completed their customer discovery validation, have an MVP ready to scale up, have a market size revenue minimum size of $1 million and above, and at least one key team member is an IES member. So as long as you're an engineer, you can join us as a member. Okay, this is our current IES INCA board of directors. We have Engineer Chong, who is our current chairman, and he's also a past president of IES. Engineer Edwin is our advisor, and he's also a past president of IES. And we have various engineers here as well as non-engineers supporting the IES INCA in our business growth and also our outreach. The focus areas for IES INCA is actually these 4 areas: infrastructure technology, building related materials, processes, and facilities management, IoT for industrial purpose and smart cities, robotics automation, and lastly, clean tech sustainability. So companies in this area with the technology looking to scale up, we can support them in incubation and acceleration. Okay. These are some of our partners that we work closely with. Enterprise Singapore is supporting us in our as an accelerator, and we are working closely with IPI, A-Star, and also various ecosystem partners. And we just have ACE on board as a partner to support the growth of deep tech. Yeah. And we don't have a fund ourselves, but we work with various partners who have members like ISCA, Institute of Singapore Chartered Accountants, who have members who will be keen to invest, as well as various angel investors, VCs, who might like to support our companies in the deep tech area. So as long as you have funds to invest, you're welcome to join our investor network. We have pulled together investor interest to invest about 12.2 million at this point in time. Okay, so we also SG startup founder, accredited mentor partner. So those first-time entrepreneurs who want to start their own company can certainly apply with us. We can help you to write a recommendation letter where you can get $50,000 from the government in 2 tranches and to help to kickstart your new business. Yeah. So do follow the links. Later we'll share with you that you can find out more. Yeah. Okay, and we also want to outreach to engineering technology SMEs who have been around for a while, and we can provide a panel of consultants and mentors to help review your business. And if you choose to spin off or run new technology spin-offs from your main company, we can help to incubate and help them to grow. But if you want to just have a chat with us to explore how your business can be transformed, you're welcome to just sign up with us. And companies out there keen to collaborate, if you have a venture fund, you have a incubator keen to collaborate, you have companies you want to spin off and incubate, or you have problem statements to share, we are happy to work with you to grow the engineering innovation together. Okay. And we also run some courses. So this is coming out on the 23rd of November. We have a course on critical thinking for engineers, a very popular course that we have run for a few runs already. So welcome to sign up with us. Members get a special discounted rates. Yeah. And we also understand engineers need to learn how to sell and communicate the value of their technology to companies. So we set up this course on technical selling for the engineering industry happening on 9 December. So welcome to sign up and learn more about how you can build your business and improve your sales skills as well with our trainer. Okay, so that's my contact, and again, very warm welcome to those who just joined us. And yeah, we will be moving on to the next part of the events. Okay. So it's my pleasure to welcome and have Miss Mei Chng from Flexxon to do the next part of the presentation to share about her company and her technopreneurship journey. And she's the COO of Flexxon, and they started Flexxon in 2007. And Flexxon in 2022 at the IP Week event was given the overall winners awards, which is for the WIPO IP Enterprise Medal, as well as one of the 10 individual awards for innovation, recognizing their use of intellectual property strategy, and particularly in the development and market expansion of their world's first AI embedded hardware-based cybersecurity solution. I am very excited to find out more about this. I heard so much about it. So over to you, May.
Good morning to all. I'm May Chng, COO and co-founder of Flexxon Private Limited. Thanks to the organizer and institution of Engineers Singapore Incubator and Accelerator for having me here today to share with you our IP journey. I will combine the company intro and our IP journey so that we can actually put item 2 and 3 into one. So I hope that I can inspire you to start building your IP rights and protect your efforts of innovation. So first of all, let me briefly share with you who we are and what we do. Flexxon is a Singapore-based company started in memory chips and storage industry. We have been specialized in industrial NAND storage solutions, such as SSD, USB, micro SD card, which serving the niche market of industrial, medical, aero automotive application. So most of our clients are worldwide Fortune 500 companies, including Bosch, Honeywell, Jabil, Metronics or HP, and Oracle, who require high performance and robust security solutions that serve as a custodian to their critical data. So with the increase in cyber risk, gaps in cybersecurity system have also exposed loopholes for criminals to bypass system software defense and compromise the endpoint where your most valuable data being stored. At Flexxon, we leverage our domain expertise to successfully innovate the world's first hardware and firmware-based cybersecurity solutions with AI embedded at memory storage to protect everyone's data. By securing IP rights around our game-changing innovations, we have extended our footprint into cybersecurity market with the expansion plan to scale it in global market. So today, we have 50 patents filed with 17 granted within 2.5 years. We also have 65 trademark filed with around 30 plus granted within 3.5 years. You can see we have built our IP aggressively within these 3-4 years. However, we actually started our IP journey with trademark as early as 2015. But there's an exciting twist to it. Our IP journey isn't as smooth sailing as expected. Let me share with you the story. So in 2015, as a first-timer without much knowledge, we engaged an IP firm, a professional IP firm, to handle our global trademark application, the trademark where you see on the right-hand corner, which is the first our company logo. So with a search report showing 80% success rate, we pay a 5-figure sum and excitedly waiting for the grant certs. But instead, few months down the road, we received legal letters of objection from attorney worldwide representing this oil giant, Exxon, demanding us to court for all the country we found. Can you imagine the predicament we had back then? A small company like us facing this legal challenge against a big boy with deep pocket and large IP team. So guess what? What happened is we not just lost the 5-figure sum for the application that we pay for, we have to pay more and again for the process of voluntarily withdraw and terminate the application worldwide. And that's not all. We have to submit the change of logo proposal for their approval within short period of time in order to let us go. So you can see we have to actually submit, we have to come up with a logo, which what you see on the right bottom, which is a logo that we have used all the way from 2015 all the way here. So we have to submit for their approval and change the logo on our website, product label, official documentations, letterhead, almost overnight because we were given a very short period of time. So you can see we were so traumatized, and this has stopped us from progressing in our intangible asset IP for at least 3 over years. We were really chicken out back then. We only pick up the courage to resume our learning by attending IPOS courses and seminar from 2018 to 2019 to build up some fundamental knowledge of IP, and started our journey to build our intangible asset journey again. Because we seriously realized that IP play a critical role in sustainability and scalability of an organization. This is especially so for companies involved and invest in innovations. So IP and innovation are indispensable to each other. IP, especially patent, is to validate the novelty of an innovation, and innovation need IP to confirm its unique value. In terms of scalability, IP play an important role in supporting this as well. Our IP portfolio enable our growth plans to go fast and go far. Let me use Flexxon as an example to share with you how it related to our sustainability and scalability. For past many years, Flexxon has been able to come up customization solutions to meet our industrial, medical, aero automotive customer requirements. But we did not pay attention to any IP protection, even though our customization solution can be regarded as backward IP. On the other hand, the competitors are always quick in catch up the game to replicate our idea and models and offer our customer the same solutions as an alternative source. It affects our sustainability as we are not able to secure our commercial right as long or longer than we wanted. So from 2019 onward, we started to do it differently. When we noticed that the weakest link in fighting against cyber attacks such as ransomware is human. Based on the IBM research, 95% of the data breach are caused by human error. So human is the weakest link, but the current market solutions, be it preventive or detection tools, are mostly software-based solutions that heavily rely on human cooperation to manually update your antivirus or ask you to stay alert from clicking the phishing link. And this reactive approach are not able to fight against new or unknown cyber threats. We identify these pain points. Hence, we revolutionize the current reactive approach to a proactive solutions with our X5 AI Cyber Secure SSD, which is the world first memory storage with AI security that provide real-time protection against both known and unknown cyber threat without the need of human intervention. For this innovation, we start paying attention to protect our IP right. We have filed 50 patents for this innovation worldwide, around 4 main areas within 2.5 years. And actually, I've been sharing that we have filed 50 patents with 17 granted, but as we speak now, I just got the update that we are actually get 27 granted. This include Singapore, US, Taiwan, Korea, Japan, Australia, New Zealand, Hong Kong, Europe, China, and even Israel. This is a strong testament for our game-changing nature of X5. The IP portfolio have enhanced our level of sustainability and enable our scalability. IP rights support the accelerating in the process of qualifying our solution for testing with many new customers and bring us enormous commercial value, including high media exposure locally and globally. X5 has been features on US CNBC and Singapore Channel News Asia, as well as France Security, Global Security TV. It also won us various regional and international prestige awards, including the Industrial Call for Innovation Award by Cybersecurity Agency of Singapore on 2019 and 2021 with grant. And the recent 3 Global InfoSec Awards from USA. Our CEO, Ms. Camelia Chan, has been named Top 10 Women in Cybersecurity from Cyber Defense Magazine USA. And in fact, recently she got another nomination and being named as the winner for Top 20 Women in an Influencer Cyber Woman from UK Info Security, and many more. You can see that with the IP, with the X5 innovation that protected by the IP rights, we have been able to expand rapidly across both B2B and B2C space. This has actually strengthened our company valuation and helped us attain significant government organization support. One of the examples, Flexxon is honored to be the only one company nominated by Cybersecurity Agency of Singapore to represent Singapore to showcase our innovation together with 13 global companies for the International Counter Ransomware Initiative Summit at White House, DC, Washington, that was held during the 1st November, which is just passed. It also has opened door for us into computer IT market, where we have seen established partnership with big boy or tier 1 PC makers such as Lenovo, HP, Asus, and roll out world first AI cyber secure laptop to provide a simple yet effective tools for digital citizen to safeguard them from cyber attack. I would say Flexxon is thrilled and thankful for being the winner of 2 IPOS awards, as what our organizer has shared. One of it is the IPO IP Enterprise Medal, and the other one is the IPOS IP for Innovation Award. There are 2 reasons we participate in this program. First, we strongly believe in the game-changing nature of our IP. Being an IP champion, we can showcase the world this new innovation and fly the Singapore flag high. One of the examples as what I show, we are given the opportunity to showcase our innovation in the international platform at White House to 37 country leaders during the CRI, the Counter Ransomware Initiative Summit on 1st November. The second reason is also actually the most important reason. We hope to serve as the best example to inspire SME and startup that intangible asset or IP, especially patent, is not a game reserved for big boys with deep pocket or large IP team. Tech startups could and should build their intangible asset through IP portfolio, and that will level up their playing field to compete with big player. If a SME like Flexxon could submit 50 patents and with 27 granted within 2.5 years and use it to rapidly grow new channels globally, compete and collaborate with big player, so can you. So last but not least, I would like to take this opportunity to thank Enterprise Singapore and IPOS in supporting us directly and indirectly on our IP journey, and also A special thanks to Dr. Tan Hian Teck from ANG, who helped us in attaining this significant patents achievement. Thank you.
Thank you, May, for that sharing of your journey. Yeah, it's definitely very exciting to hear about your product, which really can save many businesses in the protection of their data and their equipment and allow them to have a good business continuity. Yeah. Okay, let's move on to the next speaker. So I will have Mr. Eric Koo, who is the head of business development in IPOS International, to share with us about his organization and the programs that he offers to help companies to be supported in their growth. Okay, over to you, Eric.
Thank you so much, Andy, for the introduction, and thank you so much to IES INCA for inviting IPOS International to come and speak in today's session. And I couldn't have a better introduction to IE than what May has actually shared earlier on. I think her journey with what Flexxon has actually gone through, and this is a example of how IE actually helped a small medium enterprise actually to grow the business and to work with big boys. So thank you so much, May, for sharing with us your journey so far as well. Right, so very good morning, everyone. My name is Eric, and I head the business development unit over at IPOS International. So just to give you a very quick overview about who IPOS International is. So IPOS International is part of the IPOS group. And for those of you who are not familiar with who IPOS is, right? So IPOS is actually an acronym for the Intellectual Property Office of Singapore. And IPOS is a place where you will go to actually file for your different types of IP rights, whether it's going to be your trademarks, patents, registered designs, and so on. And for IPOS International, which is where I'm from, we provide 3 key services. Number 1 is actually advisory to companies on how you can actually use your intangible assets and intellectual property to unlock business value and to help your company to grow. The second part of the service that we actually provide is actually patent analytics, search, and analysis. So within patent documents, right, there's actually a lot of very valuable information inside there, which you will not find anywhere else. So if you're looking for innovations coming out from different countries, different companies in the world, patent is actually a very good source of information. So that's one of the things we actually help you to uncover as well, which is to see what kind of innovations are coming out from different spaces. And of course, the last portion of it is that we provide IP training and education. So anything from a half-a-day course to a part-time 2-year master's program that we actually work together with the Singapore University of Social Sciences. So May earlier on actually shared about the different types of IP that Flexxon actually has. So she was talking about her journey with the filing of the 50 different patent applications across the world, and also how she actually had to go through some of the challenges in her trademark application as well. Now, I just wanted to share with you that while there are many different types of IP out there, within a single product that you can have, right, or a single service that your company have, you can have many different types of IP actually protecting that single product or the single service. So don't think of IP as something that's very standalone. So if it's trademark, it's just a trademark. If it's a patent, just a patent. So if you look at this image over here, the very common Nespresso machine, which I think some of you might actually have in office or at home, right? A very simple machine like this would actually have very different types of IP protecting different elements of it. So depending on what kind of product or service that you actually have, you will and actually need different types of IP to help to protect different elements of it. So for example, if you take a look at the Nespresso logo, that's protected by a trademark. And if you look at the milk frothing machine, right, which is right over here, so the shape of it is actually protected by a registered design. And the way in which you actually extract the coffee from a capsule when you pop it inside the machine, that's actually being protected by a patent. And if you're talking about the marketing brochures, then there's copyright protection. And within the capsule itself, there's going to be the different types of coffee that actually goes into it. The secret blend of Arabica versus Robustica kind of a coffee coming from different highlands of the Cameron and so on and so forth. So that's actually being protected by a trade secret. So as you can see, different elements or different types of IP protection can come in to help to protect your product or service. It does not always have to be only just a patent or only just a trademark. Again, this comes down to what business model you have, and then you look at what kind of IP protection that actually comes into accord that protection that you actually need to help to support your business. So I just wanted to highlight this point, which is different types of IA and IP will come in to help to protect your business. So I just wanted to share very quickly with you about some of the different initiatives and resources that within IPOS and IPOS International, and also other Singapore agencies that have actually provided to help you to bring your IA and IP into your business. So number one is actually the IPOS Go mobile app. So this is an app that we have actually developed within IPOS to help you to file for your trademark registration very quickly. Now, we understand that the pace of business these days is very fast and you want to have certainty in things. So like when you file for a trademark application, you want to know when can I get it granted, whether when I actually file for a trademark, is there going to be something that is already existing that might actually prove a problem for me. So the IPOS Go app, you can actually download this through either the Apple App Store or the Google Play Store. So the app allows you to upload your trademark or your logo into the database, and then very quickly find out to say that what are the chances that you can actually get it registered, right? So you can actually tell the system to say that, okay, this is my trademark and this is my goods and services that I provide. The system then suggests to you what kind of classes you should actually register in, what's the estimated cost, and not just searching for trademarks also, right? You also help you to search for other similar business names, other similar trademarks, web domains that have already been registered, and even social media usernames that have actually been registered as well. So very quickly, you can tell if I'm coming up with a new brand name, right? What are the chances I will have getting it registered, and what other kinds of domain names and social media usernames that can actually be, can I actually register further on as well? So everything is very quick and seamless. So in fact, right now you can actually file for a trademark registration in as quick as about 15 minutes, and you will know about the estimated cost upfront as well. So this is one of the initiatives that we actually pushed out to help companies like yourself file for your trademark registrations in Singapore a lot faster and easier. So May also mentioned that, there's quite a number of patents that they have actually filed. So one thing that you may not actually realize is that for patent applications, yes, we talk about we want to file patents to protect your technological innovations and advancements. Now, the thing about patents is that depending on different countries, right, the rates at which your patent can get granted differs quite a fair bit. What I mean by that is that when you file for a patent application, the process is a very long one. It can take you years before your patent actually gets granted. Yes, we're talking about years. And if you are a startup or if you're a company just starting off, right, when you're talking about a patent registration that takes years, that may seem like a lifetime for you. So we understand this part, and what we wanted to do from Singapore or from IPOS is that we wanted to give you some sense of assurance to say that if you file for a patent application, you can perhaps get it granted much faster, so that when you seek funds from investors, when you're actually talking to potential investors or talking to collaborators, you have a bit more assurance to say that, okay, I have a granted patent. So in order to help companies to do that, so we have this thing which is called the Singapore IP Fast. So this was actually started in 2020, September, and we have actually extended it twice. So it'll be ending in 30th of April, 2024. So this SGIP Fast is actually a program that we have actually launched to help you to get your patents granted in as short as 6 to 9 months, okay? 6 to 9 months. Of course, there are going to be certain caveats to it, which is this is only limited to the first 10 applications of each month that we can actually receive, because otherwise, if you fast track everything, then that's going to be quite a fair bit of administrative burden on us. So this is limited to the first 10 applications for each month. But can you imagine that if you can get your patent granted in within 6 to 9 months, I think that gives you a lot more assurance about when you bring your patents over and have a discussion with investors or with collaborators, that gives you a lot more assurance to that. And if you have associated trademarks, you can actually get it granted in 3 to 6 months, and associated registered designs and granted as short as in 1 month. And the best thing about this is that there is no additional fee, right? So typically, if you ask for anything that you want it to be faster, you get charged a premium for it. But for this one, there's no additional fee. The only caveat is that you have to be within the first 10 applications of each month. So moving on to another fast track mechanism is that if your market is actually ASEAN, Singapore has actually this patent examination cooperation agreement with the various ASEAN countries, right? Such that if you have a positive granted patent, or that if you have a good examination result from one of the countries, you can get your patent fast tracked in the other ASEAN countries as well. Okay, so this is called the ASEAN Patent Examination Cooperation, and it allows your patent application to be much more faster approved in those various ASEAN countries. And again, it's the same thing as well. There's no additional fee for it. You just need to fill up the form. So this is something that's actually what we have in place between the ASEAN countries. And of course, Singapore also has quite a few different what we call patent prosecution highways with over 30 other countries as well. If you're interested to find out more about how this patent prosecution highway can help you to fast track or get your patents granted faster in other countries, feel free to drop me an email later on. Yep. When we talk about IP rights, a lot of times you will also face with potential infringements, or that if you have some kind of disputes actually going on. And we understand that disputes, while it's actually sometimes necessary in business, it can also cost quite a fair bit of money and take up a lot of time. So instead of rather always having to go to litigation, that means bringing the parties to court. Over here in Singapore, what we want to do, and we want to actually encourage, is that instead of always going to litigation, perhaps you can actually get your disputes settled outside of court. So you can do this through what we call arbitration or even mediation as well. So these are what we call alternate dispute resolution mechanisms. So if you choose a route to resolve the dispute outside of the courts, so that means through mediation or arbitration, you can actually get a grant from IPOS. So up to $10,000 per mediation case if it involves a Singapore IP right, or up to $14,000 per mediation case for local as well as overseas IP rights. Okay, so this is really one of the grants that we are actually giving from IPOS to help you to resolve your disputes with other parties without having to go to the courts. All right, so if you're interested to find out more, you can always scan a QR code on the screen over there. So outside of IPOS, there are also different types of assistance schemes that are actually being provided. So for example, this one from the Enterprise Singapore. When you're actually starting to file for IP rights overseas, so outside of Singapore, overseas, right? The Market Readiness Assessment Grant by Enterprise Singapore is a grant that you can actually tap on. So as long as you are SME that's actually based in Singapore, so you're actually registered in Singapore, have 30% share, local shareholding, and your annual sales turnover is less than 100 million, or that your employee size is less than 200, you can actually tap on this grant. So this grant helps to offset up to 70% of your IP related costs, capped at $30,000 per company per new market. Okay, so each country you go into, you can tap on this grant to help you to offset your IP related filing costs. So this can be your IP search and application costs. It can be also if you're going into, let's say, a franchising or licensing agreement or distributorship agreement, you can also tap on this grant to help you to offset this cost. And very importantly, just to note, this is for each single country you actually enter into. So if you enter into China, that's one set of grant you can actually tap on. If you go into Malaysia, that's another set of the grant you can actually tap on. All right. So this is actually the MRA grant from ESG. So just to share with you on that. And also for some of your investments that you actually put into IP, right? Within Singapore itself, you can also get tax exemptions. So for IP that you actually create in-house, for the first 100K that you actually spend on it, you can get a 200% tax deduction. And beyond that, 100% tax deduction. So this is in relation to the cost that is actually related to your patent, trademark, design, and plant varieties filing fees and professional fees. And if you are in the business of actually licensing in IP from third parties, similar kind of tax deductions are also available to you. All right, so these are tax exemptions you can actually tap on for the cost they actually spend on IP licensing and IP protection. Right, so I'm just going to come to the final slide over here, which is, as I mentioned earlier on for IPOS International, we do provide advisory services. So if you're keen to find out more about how is it that IA and IP can actually help you grow your business, or even as simple as a question is, how do I even start? How do I file for a patent application? What is a trademark? Feel free again, right? Just drop us a note. Again, you can scan on this QR code on the screen, and you can then arrange for a complimentary IA chat session with us. We'll be happy to walk you through this whole journey with us. All right, so that's the very last slide that I have. And if you have any further questions or you'd like to connect with me, feel free to reach out to me on my email. So the email is on the screen over there. All right, thank you so much for that. And I'll hand the time over back to Andy.
Thank you, Eric, for that very insightful and detailed sharing on IPOS and also the services that you provide and how companies can take advantage of them with the grants as well. Yeah. So, okay, now we'll move on to the panel discussion. We have some questions in the chat. Feel free to enter more questions there. We'll come to the questions shortly. But yeah, just to get the conversation started, yeah, wanted to find out more about, how May kind of started her company in Flexxon. How did she find her co-founder, and how did she get into the cybersecurity space in this area?
Actually, the better person to answer this question should be my CEO, who is actually still in San Francisco, because she was invited to the White House to do the presentation, and followed by that we have a showcase to the cybersecurity veteran. It was, I should say, there's one thing that she always shared with us, the vision. Along the journey, there's one thing that in us that is we have to control our own destiny. And that's the reason that Flexxon, we transform from the memory chip distribution to customized solutions, and eventually go into a full design and development of our very own innovation. I think all in all, what we can share is it is the drive behind to tell us that we need to keep up with the time and keep up with the latest market trend. And I would say, lucky enough, or thankfully, we were all the while involved in the industrial, medical, aeromotive customer, where they're not just looking for high performance, high reliability. Security is one of the concern. So security features is nothing new to us. We have been supporting our customer on the twin pillar that is looking at data confidentiality and data integrity. So we have some product that's covering that. Now, but it's all static products. So we have customer that actually, even though they have all these security product, they are still they are still fall victim of ransomware. So it's just like, have you heard of people like Accenture, JBL, Colonial Pipeline, even Acer? All these are big corporations, and I would say they already have a sophisticated, a large cybersecurity infrastructure in place, as well as the policy to keep reminding everybody to stay alert, to keep the antivirus update, to stay alert from clicking the phishing link, but they still fall victim of ransomware. Have you ever wondered why? Yeah, that is the reason where our customer is also one of the victim. And then that actually stirred us to take a look at the core, and we realized that the whole cybersecurity OSI network, they have most of the solution covers 6 out of the 7 layer and neglected the physical layer where your most valuable data being stored. And they highly rely on human intervention. That actually give us the idea, and actually we look at what we can do. That's where it spurred to the idea that we need to place the security with dynamic, which is an AI embedded at the firmware level, that it can autonomously run without the need of human intervention to detect both known and unknown ransomware. So as so we have many features to it that cover, but one of it is actually the most prominent is actually ransomware.
So your innovation is triggered by customer coming back to you and sharing with you their problem.
Yes.
And then Flexxon, from a memory distribution business, you extended into R&D and created this innovation to address that.
We actually tap on our expertise and our domain in the memory storage.
Understand. And what are okay, maybe we can go on to the question that Chi Leong is asking, like from the IP strategy point of view, how do you decide which countries to file your IP? And from the cost point of view, with so many IPs, I'm sure it costs a lot. How do we balance and manage this, well?
Oh yeah, you're right. Actually, it's costly, but again, it's more costly that if you choose the wrong partner. That means if you actually file a patent yourself without much knowledge and you did not get the right partner, your IP, your success in getting it grant will be much lower, and then it's more costly. Now, I would say first we choose the country where the market that we serve. So for example, our customer is actually from US and Europe. So I cover these 2 countries, and then because our competitors, some similar possible competitors that could actually copy and produce the same, is a second consideration. So that's the reason why we file in where we are serving the US and Europe, but we are filing in Japan, Korea, Taiwan, China, and as a matter of fact, I also file in Vietnam, India, Malaysia, where I also take into consideration if it's possible to execute or actually have a protection. So for example, if I were to apply in Philippines, Pakistan, it's like you're not able to exercise your right. So why you do that?
So how about the cost point of view and balancing that? How do you all come to make a decision?
This is a touchy part, but as what I say, the reason why we can attend so much is because we work with the right partner. So we have A&G who help us, and of course I also have some others. I think Dr. Tan is also on here, but I'm actually working with some others from Vietnam, from India, which we manage the outsourced IT attorney based on the original patent that we already granted. So like what Eric have shared, there is an accelerated program that it actually bring down shorten the time that we get granted. So we know that this is actually less issue, and then this is a very confidence patent, so that we can actually very quickly within the 12 months period, we can actually apply to other country, and it save my cost on the PCT.
Yes, sounds a bit complicated. I have to consult Eric on that part. But in terms of business,
we make use of, in fact, we make use of the accelerated program. I would say I really have help from A&G, Dr. Tan, that knowing our needs. So I think choosing the right partner is also very important. in fact, if I may, I would say IPOS, you have a list of IP attorney to choose from. But one of the things is there's no indication of who is good at what, because some people can, some of the IP attorney could be very good at fintech, very good at software. Then we might, for our cases, we need somebody who is actually electronic and in a hardware, more hardware based, right? So I know that there's some in the oil and gas and all that. So if I help everybody to request, IPOS could actually attach some indicator to say that they are more specialized in which area. Of course, unless you go to A&G and then they have everybody. But otherwise, if you want to choose from some effective cost, or we say more smaller firm, you want to know that what they are good at, so you will not waste time. Yeah.
Thanks for that feedback, May. In fact, we have actually
It has been on my mind because I was given a list, and because you are a neutral party that you cannot recommend who and who. But I think if you want to make it useful, that would be really helpful.
Yes, in fact, I've just pasted on the link. So there's this new portal that we came up quite recently. So it's called ipgrow.org. So that's our effort in trying to kind of like bring a whole listing of the different types of IP providers in Singapore. So not just patent, but also trademark and, you know, even strategy and advisory, right? So within that, there's going to be a listing of the different firms and what are some of their technical strengths. And there's also kind of like a bit of an indication of the price point. It's not exactly in dollars and cents, but, you know, the number of dollar signs to indicate like what kind of price point they will be in. A bit like when you go for a restaurant, right? Then they show you how many dollars means how expensive the place is. So this, I think, is something that might be useful for you guys moving forward. But thanks for bringing it up, May.
I think personally, I would think that the price point could be one of the indicator, but what their expertise will be more helpful, because if they are very cheap, but they are not in a specific area, or they are not good at specific area, they are not able to help you to draft and help you into your right direction effectively.
Okay, yeah. As part of this support of Deep Tech, IES INCA also likes to get to know and profile all these IP supporting services so that we can also recommend the right guys. Yeah, definitely. So how, maybe ask further questions or for me to share. What make your decision to come back to put focus on IP, and how has it been a important element in your growth of the business, in fundraising, or really compete on the world market? Yeah, how, maybe you can just share some anecdotal stories just to give us
Actually, I would say the reason we share today is we hope that we can actually inspire others, because of the issue that we actually chicken off. You know, we really chicken out for a long period of time, because to the extent that it was so scary. It was a first timer, and then we got scared off simply because I want to trademark and give some basic protection to my very own logo. But again, along the way, we realized that if we don't do it, it's even worse. You're not able to go big, because the next thing, people will either copy you very quickly, and you will actually get into trouble like this very quickly. So the next round, we did it very differently. We no longer do a global application. We go one by one, and then in a very low key. And once we got the first one successful, we quickly go and file another. So that is how we did it for the subsequent one. And again, as what I mentioned in the slide, we realized that it is very important to protect your IP right if you want to go far. And along the way, it happens that it helped us to go fast, because we did not expect, oh, we can open up we were all the while serving in the OT market. Then the IP right which endorsed the innovation, helped us to open up the computer IT market very quickly. So take Lenovo as an example. They were actually asking a question, but it was the IP that tell us that, hey, you have an IP, so it must be something. And then they take a look. They came down to our office to take a look, and at the same time, I didn't know that that guy is actually he said he's a data scientist, and then later on he declared that he's actually the head of cybersecurity, where in his pocket he has a USB full of ransomware. So he went over to plug and play, where within second, our solution actually blocked the one that he so-called very notorious, the latest one. And that's where they convince immediately, and then think that with the IP right, they want to roll out very quickly. And the very next day, they send in a laptop, a PC, a server for us to test on. So that's why I say it's accelerated the testing process.
That's amazing. Yeah. How about in terms of, I mean, do you all do fundraising as part of the recent journey?
In terms of fundraising, yes, but we are not, okay, I think the fundraising part is always talk about valuation. I would say it actually, with the IP, the VC and the PE actually tell us on the table, the IP will help you to add, every time IP will help you to add 100 million. I just give you a ballpoint that what they say, quote and unquote. So I cannot tell you what is the valuation now, but it definitely a few times added just from there. So
right.
it puts us into a very much better position with IP.
But is it at the point of filing and having the IP granted that when you talk to the investors and all that, they will already put the value of the company higher in that sense? Or is it you need to really roll out products, you know, that really use your IP that will eventually give you that value?
I think for the VC, IP is just one of the endorsement to say that your market is protected, but you really need the product to be out. Now you can, definitely there is some that is actually buying the proof of concept. And it just happens that we are not 100% in that proof of concept.
Understand. Okay.
We are actually already have the prototype. So as when we have the prototype, we also start applying the patent together. So that's why actually last year was a crazy one. Within the 2.5 years, actually the 50 patent, out of the 50 patent, 30 was filed last year.
And from your experience, I mean, your competitors, have they come to challenge your IP, or has there been more opportunity for you to engage with them and has helped you a lot in that sense?
This is what the true experience we have. We haven't have somebody who is actually we haven't actually able to license out our IP for two reasons. First, we want to capture the market ourselves first. So we are not doing licensing for the start, but I also understand from the IP advisor, IPOS actually provide this course as well. I can be a seller already. I know that they have this IP course, IP audit course. I understand that people don't come and happily say that here I want your licensing. It always with an offensive approach that you identify somebody who is actually suspect or think that they are actually infringe your copyright, then you issue a letter, and followed by the solution is to say, why don't you take my licensing? That's what we were told. We have not at that area yet. However, we do another advisor from Israel actually help us to stay. I mean, he highlight to us that when a customer from overseas buying our product as a sample to test, we need to pay attention to check what company is that. So we need to tell them right up to say that, hey, we have, just highlight to them, hey, you have an IP, I understand you interested with our product. Anything we can do for you? We have an IP right, by the way, just to highlight to the customer in this manner. So to actually pre-protect us that they thought that we don't have, and then they start doing something.
Understand.
Again,
okay.
I don't have a very good answer or right answer. I can only share from my what we know or what we have experienced.
So looking forward, you have already invented this and it's well protected. What do you all see as the vision for the next 1-2 years for this product?
We are actually into we're rolling out into the market. In fact, we just have a launch in US, Washington, DC at the Art Club, where we have our partner. Okay, this is a good part. We have new partners that actually on board. They are very government related. So we are rolling out the go-to-market plan more aggressively in the next 1 or 2 years.
And this product is manufactured in Singapore, is it?
Yes, we purposely make this one made in Singapore, where our previous product is actually made in Taiwan. So this one, we actually purposely move it back to Singapore so that it can be less. We try to stay away from all these political issues, and we also want to have a closer control. So that's why we want to make it in Singapore, even though it's a little bit more expensive.
Right. Okay. So we have one more question from Chi Leong here. Like in Europe, right? Do you file in all the EU states?
This is a good question. I was just taught recently. Now EU, it consists of 33 countries. So it used to be when they granted, you need to apply again on the individual country. You have to pay. That one is costly. That is really costly. So you choose the country that you want to. However, end of the year, there's a new rules coming up that you can apply just one. Actually, if Dr. Tan is here, he should help to. Oh, in fact, I think IPOS also know about this. There's a new rules coming out that now on, you can actually just apply Europe patent as one. But the risk is when somebody come to you and then provoke it is also a one-time job. So for the Europe is when you actually apply to individual, then if somebody actually have want to have questioning, you have to go to individual court that you have the country that you have applied for. Then it make them very difficult. So you have to think of whether you want it to have a cost saving and just one cert, or you want to actually have many cert. And that is also the reason why suddenly we are away from 17 become 27, because we choose all the country. A few country that is actually make up to Europe itself, we take up 9 countries.
Understand. Okay, thank you, May, for that input. Maybe Eric has any comment before we wrap up for today. Yeah.
I just wanted to add to say that I think a lot of companies, when they look at IP rights, is something that's additional cost, additional money that you need to consider. I always think about IP rights as an insurance. So it's a matter of, if you don't have it, what happens? If you have it, what happens? So if you don't have your IP rights in place and somebody decides to infringe, right, what kind of recourse do you have? Basically nothing, because you can't stop the person from doing it. And if your whole lifeline or your whole business operations is down to really your intangible assets, right, and you can't protect it, and somebody just comes in and takes it away, and this somebody can be a competitor, can even be one of your employees. So employee leak is actually one of the very big things that is very real in this world, especially these days where people can go over and start a new company so easily. So what recourse do you have? So without your IP rights in place, right, I think it's a very huge risk you're actually taking. And in this day and age, when I think physical products are being less and less, whereas you're looking at a lot more like, intangible products moving out, then I think really IP protection is something that you cannot afford to not have in place anymore. So it is a cost, but I think you need to play this game accordingly, smartly, and you need to give the necessary attention to it. Yeah.
Okay, thank you, Eric, for that input. Yeah. So, okay, to wrap up, we're very happy to have May and Flexxon share with us their journey today. Really as a small company, how you grow and how you got sort of attacked by the big boys who are very sensitive about their own trademarks, even though it's even different industry, right? But still, and really excited to see your journey, how you're going to build this product as a Singapore product, a Singapore invented product to make the world a safer place, you know, against all this ransomware. These guys are really working very hard to create all this to affect our businesses, but with a solution where people don't have to come in, it will protect our data and our business. We will make the world a better place, certainly. Yeah. So thank Eric for his inputs and sharing about IPOS programs, and really help us understand more what we can take advantage of to really build our deep tech companies in Singapore.